Hey everybody, Gears here, and for the last couple days I've only had barely a couple hours to do much of anything at all, so it's been a little slow going, more slow going than I'd like, but that's the way things are. The last time you saw this, I think I was still laying in the plastic rim here, so obviously that's been filled in. Glazing putty up and down the sides to get those evened out. There's a couple little blotches here and there that there's a pretty, oh, there's the really good one. So there's a few tiny things like that here and there that I need to fill in, and otherwise this is pretty much done on the outside. On the inside rim here, you can see there's definitely an undercut going on, which I've started to get rid of over here. So that's Ava's epoxy just fingered into place. There's just a little more to go. I wanted to see where it was, which is why I threw some paint on it. So yeah, right in there is pretty good, but all the rest of it there definitely has to get a lot better. And the other thing I managed to get done a little today is all of this right here. So this has been a couple days of tearing down this huge chunk in the middle, and it looks like I still have a little more. Well, actually it depends on what angle you look at it from, and I'll get back to that. However, you can definitely clearly see there are significant ripples, dents, and all sorts of defects that need to be patched up, but essentially this is the shape, except for what I said about this right here. So again, if we go back to the symmetry checks, and we take a look at the way the angle in there evolves into the hunchback, and then we come over here and take a look at this, it's like bam, right there. The other side is much more subtle about that. So that tells me I need to shave down just a little more going on in here. However, if we come and take a look at it from this angle, that silver line pretty well defines what's going on as far as the fall off and the shape that goes. Over here, you can see this line coming up here that just kind of gets ragged, so it's in the correct angle, cuts straight up, and then cuts over. So down in here, that pretty much matches as far as the curvature goes. Up in here, still pretty good. Then right in there. So that tells me I need to fill that out. So whether I'm filling it out at just the bottom, I guess, and shaving off some of the middle, I'm going to have to think about that for a little bit. Other thing I wound up doing was working on this here, and you can see how that black reflection line just sort of wiggles all sorts of crazy right there. And so that tells me it needs just a little more filling as opposed to the other side, which, well, that's not moving at all much really, is it? Let's see what it does here. No, it disappears. This side is still finished. Nothing to do over there, and it's all just down to here. And I gotta tell you, I am shocked about this thing here and how it's pretty much in symmetry now. I still don't believe that the template was correct. I cut a template of this side, compared it over to this side, never fit for a long time, and when I did try to fit it, there was no way. But I've taken out a huge amount of material from all along this area here, and when it was in this area, that's the bulk going up that. And it always looked pretty much right, but not quite. And now, looking at that slope, looking at this slope, it needs a little more rounding right around the edge here. But that is pretty much that, which leaves this tail piece here that I need to match. Probably take this side and match it to that side, because I'd be cutting away rather than adding. All in here is looking good. There's looking, well, Obviously it needs work, but the shape wise, yeah, it's just all in this area right here that I need to worry about. The swoop on this area is pretty much getting there, a little bit right in there to fill in to make it a little rounder as opposed to this area here. So this is just a little too sharp. That sharp line should not be there. It should be more like, yeah, even way out here it's a little, and there isn't too bad. Up here isn't too bad for the curvature. So I need to work all the curvature in that area there. Get all that. And there's a couple weird things going on in this flat plane here that I gotta resolve. And a little minor damage with some water droplets captured. Yeah. Otherwise, that side is done. So not too bad day's work, but it's still got a ways to go. Thanks for watching. See ya.